Then here, the frunk is actually quite spacious, and like the Mazda 6e, it gets this additional bag inside. This is a very practical thing, has like this Mazda embossed on the inside, and I always say, like, if we forget some grocery bags or something like that, in German we say the Jutebeutel, like these, like these cotton bags, which are very sustainable because you use them over and over again and so on. If you forget them, you can just go like to your shops and like fill up my Mazda bag, guys. Then you can put it back in the front. But this one's actually quite spacious, and underneath here you have even more tool port, and this looks like some rinse holes left and right. You can maybe also put like some ice there or like water sports equipment. So practical solution indeed. Since this one is here like a first hand-built one-off model, the very first one that is built, they told me I should be like very gentle with the front hood as well and close it in a two-step way like this. So there we go. Yeah, it's not the easiest to close it here because you have this this aerodynamic overlap here. So I think from the exterior it's really stunning already. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Here, these handles, they're open and come towards you, otherwise they're flush integrated, but then they're at least have like a physical haptic experience, so that's actually quite good. Then also difference to the Mazda 6e to the sedan is that here you have laminated glass in the front, and actually the Mazda 6e sedan was quite silent on the motorway at high speeds, and this one in here with the laminated glass in the front, the rear does not have it, should be maybe even better. Then again, it's an SUV, stands more against the wind. Yeah, we have to see about that. This one is this two-tone scheme interior with purple and white. And yeah, this looks really stunning. Is connected to the top trim level. And some might love it. Leah would surely love it when I show that to her. So she has some holiday today. So Jonas is filming for us. Yeah, but probably most customers, they will say, that's maybe over the top or something, but no problem. You just stay with the base trim level, save a couple of €1,000, and then you either have like black or a bright scheme. And they are also very beautiful. Inside of the doors, you in this case have this expressive white, but it's, like really soft here already inside of the doors. Also, this top part is a little bit softened up. This would be like the first monitor then, from the camera right there. And the problem is always this is a 2D focus when you sit there, whereas a classic mirror looking in there is a long focus. This is always short focus. That's hard to switch then between long and short focus. And then here, soft touch leatherette at the inside of the door, and then here also for your elbow, window levers, classic 4, and feels also quite nice. However, here this is like the button for the door opener, and the manual one is here in the lower part. You have to know that it's there, and then you can actually like press it in there, release it, and then you have this manual release. I think it's just important to know that. In most cases you will not use it, but so that you just know where to find it. Here, this one is actually nicely structured. It's not very soft though, but at least you have some structure on the inside. But yeah, actually it feels better than it would be just pure hard plastic from the first impression. Then the steering wheel is flat bottom. You have a mix also of real buttons still, so that they are like here for the 360-degree camera, click here, or here some hotkeys. You can set some favorite functions to. Animal-free material, two-tone scheme. As I said, more subtle in the lower part, in the low trim version, but here also very soft from material. And look at these seats. This is, considering that these seats will look the same, just in a different color in the base scheme. This is base trim. You get €50,000 in Europe. Perforated leatherette, high grade, really soft. Then here also in the top part, this is really luxury quality. I just have to applaud them on that actually. And yeah. This is really cool, and it looks really plush, but is it also as comfortable as it suggests? Let's take a seat. Young Skywalker. And then, yeah, it's really comfortable. And you have this upright seating position here. The 6E seats are already comfortable. Here in the CX-6e, even more upright. They are also wider a little bit. So this is, great luxury experience. Wow, I'm quite impressed, actually. Steering wheel up and down, in and out. so you can also find a good position. Then you have also new stalk columns. That looks almost Bentley-like with some metal knurling here also at the stalk column. And the right one is not this typical Mercedes parts bin anymore. It looks a little bit like it, but has also been like refined. So that makes a good impression. You might think first now, wait a minute, where are the digital instruments? There are none indeed. And I'm a little bit skeptic about that. That's also what I criticize about Tesla. So you only have like the speed up there. So I always tell like then to Tesla, give us digital instruments or at least a head-up display. And what they did here is, they said we have this huge screen, so more to that, but we don't do instruments. However, we do the head-up display. This is the big box here, and then I do already see like at least a P symbol from the head-up display now in park mode. So they will have an extensive head-up display, and I think this is something you can at least work with, that you can say, I control everything infotainment-wise here, but then when I drive, I just look at the head-up display, I have the speed in my line of sight and also in the long focus. That's what I'm saying also here with the digital mirrors. Long focus is important while driving, and if you then have bifocal glasses, even more important indeed. The mirror here is, by the way, either normal or digital. You can switch it between camera view and normal mirror. Yeah, and I think now it's time to take a detailed look here with this huge screen in the interior, but I honestly have to say, this is really luxury interior for a non-luxury price. And now here, 26-inch 5K resolution. At the moment, there's a demo mode running. They can see some functions. The climate unit will be here, like warmer and colder. Also here for the seat heating. So this is not the old Mazda philosophy where you have like real physical dials and so on. Everything is then here in the screen and also heading towards the passenger and so on. I mean, this is almost like a cinema, basically. Speed will be in the top left here in the Tesla philosophy, but as I said, you will also have it then in the head-up display. Then here on the top dash here, this is also nice in the structure, not too soft, but I think that's fine. You also have some ambient lighting integration here, and then once again, this high-grade leatherette on the dash. You will also have these visualizations here that you can also, for example, apply the sunshade. And the thing is, I know something of the infotainment already from the 6e, and the thing is, it is actually pretty quick. What they have not mastered with the 6e yet is like the integration of assistance systems. They insist was a little bit, annoying, something like that, and how to turn off some of the stuff that annoys you. That is, I expect them to be able that they maybe deactivate it on the hotkeys and so on. That would be cool for this one. So we're looking forward to which final software version they will then present to us very soon. But visually, definitely stunning. Then let's take a look here. There's the glove box with a button, also falls down gently. Also nice fabric covering from the inside. Then this middle console here in the lower part, you have a lot of space together with USB-C charging and USB-A connector. This is the split basically. On the top part, you also have this luxury design. We have left side inductive charging pad, which with cooling also, and right side just some space. And then here, even the cup holders are hidden if you want so, and then 4-dot design. I guess this should not be like the final material quality on the inside. And then you can just hide them again. Then also very soft here for your elbow. And then you can open this one with a lot of space on the inside, huge space. And you can also activate cooling in there. Yeah, I really have to say this is excellent build. If you would present, like this is the new Bentley SUV or something, that you would say, yeah, it is. So this is excellent. And not everyone will agree to the color scheme here of the seats, right? These one, by the way, also perfect because you also have Bluetooth speakers in here. If you want maybe like a music source, or maybe like an audiobook, whereas the kids listen to something else just for your ears, that would be possible. Not everyone will agree to this color scheme, but we took a look at the black seat, for example, or the just bright seat, unicolor. It's also totally fine if you want that. And then Isofix already at the front seat. And once again, you can see this plush design also here in the area of the sit bones and so on. I see maybe a Christmas, like maybe late Christmas gift for Leah coming up. Another one maybe. Yeah. And it's actually also quite spacious, like how it's, you're feeling quite well housed in. The placement here of the digital mirrors is a good placement, yeah. But once again, it's the focus issue. That's just the human body. You can't actually get around it. Headroom here, to the front like this, 189, 6'2". This is still okay. And this is the glass roof is standard. And what's also standard, I can't activate it now because the infotainment system is basically just in demo mode. There's also a shade, electric shade. You can see the end of the electric shade. It goes all the way through the glass roof, and then you can completely close this shade also as an additional measure against the sun, if you like. Door closing sound, not to forget that. Wow. Actually also in here, like the panel gaps are really nicely done. So it's hard to do good door closing sound when you have frameless doors. That sounds really nice. And then here, AC charging 11 kilowatts and DC charging is 165 kilowatts maximum peak. So that is then 24 minutes, 10 to 80% state of charge. So it's actually also decent then with the charging with this LFP battery. Yeah, and what's still missing? We have the rear seats and the trunk, but I can already say, I mean, looks stunning, exterior and interior. The only thing will probably be that it's not like the super long haul range SUV if you maybe compare it to a BMW iX3 or Mercedes GLC EQ. However, here then you also pay like 30,000-40,000 euros less. Let's now check out the rear seats. Actually, I can open the door for Jonas. Here, please, Jonas. You can take an exclusive first look before I enter. And they continue with this color scheme. It's also very spacious here from the doors on the inside. Then you also have nice soft touch at the inside of the doors there. Headroom to the side with 189 6'2" is close. Then a little bit wider to this glass roof. But it's really a luxury atmosphere. The middle part here. Put this one down, Lipston, adaptive lips for the drinks and so on, and even floor. Then you have a climate unit, and you even have seat cooling and seat heating for the rear seats in the Takumi Plus. So, and I can also move the passenger seat forward here remotely from the rear. That's also cool. These are not working at the moment yet because the car's in this showroom mode. But this is then the difference. So from the base, you would have front seat, heated and cooled. And in the Takumi Plus, the option trim, you also have the rear seats heated and cooled. And yeah, where else do we have that? For this kind of price, it starts to get scary now. Look at that here, Mazda embossed here also at the back part of the seat. So even if we compare it to the Mazda 6e, to the sedan, this is again like one level above that. And this one here is only starting 5,000 euros above the Mazda 6e and has a little bit bigger battery. So yeah, kinda impressed with that. As for the movement of the back seats, so yeah, the release with this like pressing in button is not the ideal one. And here, see here, no cargo position or something like that. It's just like folding or fixed, that's it. Isofix in the rear. And let's see these clips here. There we go. Yeah, they actually, they fold up. It's interesting. So in the 6e, they also fly around, but these ones fold up. This is probably the first time someone removed them like this. So there we go. And that's on the outside parts each. So this has better seating comfort than luxury sedan, honestly. And by the way, if you have not seen it here, the legroom, when I'm driving here, like so much legroom due to the more upright seating position. And by the way, this electric shade I can also activate from the rear. So there we go with this electric shade. If it's like really hot summer day, then you can also have that one closed to have even more climate comfort. There we go. And at the same time, we can also maybe move this passenger seat all the way to the front, and I can show that to you how we have like this like super chauffeur position. Also open the roof again. So yeah, this is even more space, of course, on demand. Now to the trunk or the boot, which is at 470 liters, and we have it here like in the Porsche Macan style with this button right here, quite wide in the lower part. Then we have this cover here. It's also rails left and right. This one, yeah, barely fits underneath, but it still works with the cabin trolley here. Then we have here about a little, yeah, maybe exactly 1.40 meters in width. Then also almost 1.40 meters in length. And the typical height here is 28 inches or 70 centimeters. So actually good dimensions. 470 liters is here. And then you can also remove this one to show you, like, you can actually reach it over from here. There's no remote unlock. And this, yeah, as I said, like this pressing in buttons here are not my favorite ones, let's take it that way. Also here, you have to, put them a little bit down there. That's more beautiful with the fabric. That's maybe the only weaker part of the interior quality. And then here, the loading through length, this is here 73 inches or 1 meters 85. So very well usable vehicle. Underneath here, this small cover, by the way, there we go. There's not too much space left, so the charging cable would be rather than in the front than in the frunk. Yeah, I would really say that this one here ticks a lot of boxes. Indeed, literally like boxes in the trunk. And yeah, you see where this is going.